by DC Sports. It has actually a cold air intake, not a short rim intake, so the filter's going to be sitting down here somewhere. You can see it there. This might take me a few days to do because the weather's been absolutely terrible. It's nice right now, but look at this crap. Rain, 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 rain. That's 2 weeks of rain. What makes sense? So it comes with tubing, air filter, couplers, a couple of neat stickers. It comes with a badge to put on the tube itself saying DC Sports on it, and of course instructions. It's not super long, but in the car it's about this orientation. So like I said, the filter's going to be down here somewhere. Mass airflow, vent, crankcase vent. The bag of goodies. Right here you can see CAI3004. That's the part number for this, for the 2015, 2014, and 2013 Chevy Spark, I believe. And an air filter. It's got a funnel built into the end of it to hopefully direct the air into the intake instead of it colliding in the center. Interesting, but cool. I can get behind that. It claims 847.2 CFM, whereas everything else is 740 and less. Interesting. Totally reusable, washable. I didn't see any reason to oil it. I know K&N gets a lot of flack because they catch on fire because of the oil. That's going to be on older stuff where it's directly on top of the carburetor. Stuff, you know, like this, cold air intake, short rim intake, you don't really have that kind of a problem. Here's the actual filter. This is how it's packaged. I did open everything to look at it, but I left it exactly as packaged. So, you can see the funnel here. Nice silicone couplers. And instructions. Don't be an idiot. Read them. Do it the right way. First things first, disconnect the battery. I've already done that because I've already been screwing around with the car today. So, step 1, remove the one 10mm bolt and the one push plug that secures the snorkel in place. Then remove the 3 10mm bolts that secure the airbox. Grab my toes. An impact is completely unnecessary for this job, but it makes quick work of things. Unless you can't reach the bolt, in which case you just pull out an extension. show you guys what I just did. I'm going to pull it off the tripod here. $10mm bolt here. This is not the clip you want to use. It's over here. There she is. 10mm bolt here, here, and there. If you don't have a trim removal tool like I do, a flathead screwdriver will do just fine. It just takes a little more effort. If you can save them, never throw these away because sometimes they're extremely hard to come by and you will use them again at some point, trust me. Snorkel is loose. What the instructions failed to mention is you got to take care of some things. Hose clamps, mass airflow sensor. Don't tear those up. You may use them again later. Like I said, remove the mass airflow sensor, the pigtail. Go ahead and disconnect that. We'll deal with this later. Loosen up this hose clamp. This should start sliding out. And there's a hose right here you're going to have to wiggle past. That will be removed later, I believe. There goes the air filter box and snorkel. Step 2 in these instructions, remove the OEM breather hose from the top of the valve cover and then unplug the harness from the MAF sensor. We've already unplugged the harness from the MAF sensor, don't have to worry about that. Let's get rid of this rubber hose real quick. To do this, you've got pinch clamps here and here. Take those off. I'm going to remove the whole hose and get it out of the way just to make sure. After you remove the rubber hose, now you need to remove the actual intake hose from the intake mat or the throttle body. There's one more hose clamp to loosen. Again, if it's not coming off easy, give it a twist while you're pulling on it. It'll come off. And there's that. We've got a little resonator here, make it quiet, whatever. I'll go ahead and keep a hold of this just in case. Next on the instructions is to jack the car up and put it on its stand. It didn't say to do this, but it will be easier if you take the wheel off, the driver's side wheel. There are a couple of screws and a couple of clips you need to remove. Let's see, specifically it says, remove the 2 Phillips screws that secure the driver's side lower splash shield from under the front bumper. Remove the 4 push clips that secure the driver's side inner fender liner. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I've already got it up on a stand. No, it's not a Harbor Freight stand, it's a Walmart stand. I'm in even more danger. How about that? Okay, I believe these instructions are talking about this piece and this piece. Let's see if we can get this figured out, hey? Okay, I got the 4 clips out. The 2 Phillips screws are right here. I'm going to go get a screwdriver and I'll be right back. Again, for an install like this, power tools are probably overkill, but it makes things quick. What you may have just heard is the clutch system on my drill. I always keep it set not to drill setting unless I'm actually drilling, because I don't want to strip anything out. Now let's see if this is loose yet. It appears to be a two-part thing, but I didn't want to come apart. Sometimes you gotta get rough. There it is. Just fold that back and out of our way here. Alright. And here you can see, I believe they're 10mm nuts. There we go, 1, 2, and 3, and that'll get rid of the resonator, the other resonator box and make room for the air filter, I believe. And it's getting dark. I'm just going to go ahead and remove it, and I'll show you the after. Alright, got all the nuts loose, and out she comes. Whacked my camera, but that's okay, I got protection on it. So yeah, there's that piece. And I'm keeping all of this in case for some reason I don't like it. If I want to sell the car, I can put it all back to stock. I don't know if that's supposed to have a hole in it or not, but there it is. And now you're left with an empty hole into the engine bay. Next thing you got to do, this fuse panel that's in front of the battery here, go ahead and unclip it from here and here. There's 2 posts. Easiest way to do it, take a small flathead screwdriver, stick in there like yo, both sides, it'll come off. Next, the instructions say to install what's called a vibra mount. A little piece of rubber vulcanized with 2 bolts on either end. That out of the way. A little dark, but you can see right here there's a little tab, just like this one with a hole in it. The vibra mount's going to go right in here, right in that hole. Okay, I've got the vibra mount in. You can see it just there. Right here. Stick it through the hole. There's a 10mm nut you put on the back side. It is a nylon lock nut, so you don't have to worry about it coming loose. Another 10mm nut to hold the tube. I just laid through the tube in there to see how it's going to sit. On to the next step. Next on the list is the MAF sensor. Goes from here to here. They provide these nifty little hex head screws so you can get pretty good torque on them. I do not know what size they are. I just happened to find that laying in the bottom of a toolbox and it fits, so I'm going to use it. These screws are like 5.5mm, something like that. A 6mm is too big and a 5mm is too small, but 7/32 is perfect. So I assume it's 5.5mm actually. Power tools would make this faster, but this is kind of a delicate piece, so I want to leave it as easy as possible. Okay, there's those out. I don't know about this specific style, but a lot of MAFs, they have a direction to them. So I know that this connected to the throttle body, this connects to the throttle body. Since this is up, I know this is up, and it's going to go right in like that. Put the 2 hex head screws in, and that's transferred. Again, these are quite delicate, so make sure you don't over torque it. Okay, that's in. Next up, you got to put on the hump hose. It comes with a couple of different hose adapters. This one's got a hump in it, so you put the hump on your throttle body, tighten that down. Go ahead and put your other hose clamp on there, but don't get it too tight so you can move it by hand. Now it's time to actually put the tube in. Then you can tighten this down and tighten down that vibra mount that you installed earlier. Watch me fight with this and get mad and da-da-da-da. No, hopefully not. On the other side of that vibra mount you put on, there's a washer and another nut. Go ahead and take that off. Put that in there. Okay, so it looks like I've run into my first issue. I'm going to go ahead and have to loosen this a little bit. And I'm actually going to take it off and put it on the intake tube instead. And maybe that'll give me a little more room here. Yep, sure enough, that did the trick. Okay, so now the tube is in. Tighten up your hose clamps, put your nut and washer back on that vibra mount, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, I've got the vibra mount tight. I got the 2 hose clamps tight. We can go ahead and plug this back in. They do supply another hose to go from here to here. I'll go ahead and get that real quick. It's a silicone rubber hose. They don't supply any hose clamps with it, but after pushing this side on, it's tight enough. I don't think it really needs it. If you don't feel comfortable with that, just go to your local AutoZone or O'Reilly's or whatever you have locally. Pick you up some little bitty hose clamps, throw them on there. It's not going to hurt anything. You just kind of rock it back and forth until it's on there. And there you have that. Okay, next thing to do is the air filter. That is 2 1/4 inch pipe. The air filter is 2 1/2 inch. So what you're going to have to do here, and it tells you in the instructions to do this, you're not going to use the supplied coupler that comes with the air filter. They send you an adapter. So I'll go ahead and get that one off. Stick that one on. Work that down where it covers the rib, so that way when you put the hose clamp back on there, it'll actually catch and not try to come off. Okay, it's on there pretty good, so we'll go ahead and put one hose clamp on, tighten it down, and that'll be that for that. I apologize, I'm working in tight quarters, so if I bump the camera a time or two, that's the reason why. I may have to get in front of the camera here, so I'm gonna go ahead and just knock this on real quick. Be right back. Okay, got the air filter on. It should look something like this. Air filter, reducer coupler. I'm trying to show you without getting in the light here. There's the tube with the tab for the Viber mount. Tube comes up into the engine bay. MAF sensor, throttle body. Now you just got to put the car back together. Make sure to torque your lug nuts. On the 2015 Spark, it's 80 foot-pounds. I can't speak for the others. I just know my car. Crisscrosses, not circles. Alright, got the car back together. Last thing to do is hook up the battery. Airbag didn't go off after fucking with the steering wheel, so I'm calling it a good day. DC Sports intake systems decal to go on the tube. I'm thinking right there, right above the MAF. And peel off that protective plastic so it looks better. And boom, you have installed a cold air intake by DC Sports. Again, it's part number CAI3004. If you guys want to have fun with that, go for it. But how much power does it make? Honestly, just that, probably not much. I intend to do a full header back exhaust on this thing, a couple other power mods. I really don't know what I'm going to get, but I'm going to shoot for 100. I'm going to see what it takes to get to 100 horsepower out of these little cars. Have a good day. Did you think I forgot to give you guys a sound clip? Out on a test drive. Sorry it's so dark. My dome light keeps burning up for some reason. I'll work on that when it's relevant to me. Anyway, I figured I'd give you guys a sound here, maybe. Got to be careful. I'm kind of screwing around inside city limits. Don't want to get pulled over. I have not gone more than 5 over the speed limit. The police around here don't seem to really care about that, so it's got a good growl to it, actually. I was kind of surprised. It's pretty loud. Get out of Main Street, maybe the street lights will kind of light this thing up a little bit. behind me. At least it light up my eyes, I guess. I was about to say Main Street's kind of busy, but I guess it is a Friday night. Turn the corner and get up against a brick building and see if it's even louder. I was getting up there in the RPM. I wasn't really redlining it. I was getting right around the peak power. Redline's about 800 RPM past that. So anyway, I'm home. And I had fun with this. See ya.